Do women really fake orgasms? Have you ever wondered just how often? And more importantly, why? Because this is one of those questions most men carry quietly, and a lot of women, they carry silently. It's uncomfortable, it's confusing, and it's rarely talked about honestly. So, let's talk about it. Now, not from a place of blame, not from a place of shame, but from a place of understanding. Because if you think women fake orgasms just because the sex is bad, or because they're lying, or because they're being fake, you are missing the real story. Because most of the time, it has very little to do with sex and everything to do with emotion. Hi, I'm Chris Hodgson, former adult performer and professional companion. Now, I have spent years around real conversations, real dynamics, and real intimacy. Not just what people say in public, but what they admit privately too. I've been in spaces where people are brutally honest about what they want, and spaces where they completely hide how they feel. I've seen both sides, the bodies, the minds, and I can tell you right now, women do not fake orgasms just to deceive men. It's the complete opposite. They fake orgasms to protect men. Nothing hits a man's ego harder than feeling like he's not good enough in bed. Nothing. And women know this. They can feel your confidence hanging on the outcome. They can sense your pride tied to whether or not she finishes. They can read when you're waiting for that moment to be validated. Even if you never say it, even if you think it, you're still hiding it. And she can feel it. So sometimes instead of risking that look on your face, instead of risking that shift in your energy, instead of risking, that awkward silence or that tension or that insecurity, she fakes it. Now, it's not to lie to you. It's not to manipulate you, not to play you, but in fact, it's to protect you. To protect your pride, to protect your confidence, to protect your sense of being good enough. This is emotional caretaking. Now, I know that might be uncomfortable to hear for some of you, but it matters. Because most men think, well, she faked it. I've failed. What most women are thinking when they fake it is, I don't want him to feel like he's failed. Now, that difference changes everything. With women, arousal starts up here before it is ever shown down there. Men, we often focus on the tools. Women experience the environment. Now, if she's not relaxed mentally, if she doesn't feel emotionally safe, if her mind is busy, stressed, guarded, distracted, then her body won't fully open. You can have all the technique in the world. You can be doing the right thing. But if she's not comfortable in her head, she's just not going to get there. And a lot of men underestimate how much is actually happening in her mind during intimacy. She's not just feeling, she's thinking. There is pressure to respond, pressure to perform, pressure to be easy, pressure to be responsive, pressure not to disappoint you, pressure to not make it awkward, and pressure to not hurt your feelings. And that pressure builds quietly. She might be thinking, I don't want him to think something's wrong. I don't want him to feel bad. I don't want to make this too heavy. So sometimes faking an orgasm is not about pleasure, it's about relief. And not the relief we want, but relief from expectation, relief from pressure, relief from feeling like she has to manage the moment. Now, she gives you the result, but without feeling the experience. Another huge reason why women fake orgasms is fear of conflict. Because honesty can trigger defensiveness, insecurity, sulking, or even an argument. And sometimes she just doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to explain. She doesn't want to manage emotions in that moment. So she chooses peace over truth. Now, not because she's weak, not because she's dishonest, because she's just trying to keep the moment light. She is thinking, I don't want this to turn into a thing. So she contains it. Now, sometimes she fakes it for validation. Not validation for her, but the validation for you. Look, she wants you to feel powerful. She wants you to feel desired. She wants you to feel like you're a good partner. She knows how much men tie self-worth to sexual performance. Even if you never say it out loud, she feels it. And if pretending for a moment protects your confidence, then she's going to do it. That doesn't mean that she doesn't care about you. It means she's prioritizing your emotional state over her physical experience. And that's emotional labor. And on top of all that, women grow up with scripts, movies, social experiments, what they think they're supposed to do, what they think men expect. So sometimes faking it isn't a conscious choice. It becomes habit, conditioning, learning behavior. We'll go deeper into that in the next episode. In my experience, when women fake orgasms constantly, it usually means the environment didn't feel safe enough for honesty. And I don't mean physically, I mean emotionally safe. No punishment for the truth. Psychologically safe. No pressure to perform. And relationally safe. There's going to be no change in how you treat her. Because when honesty feels risky, pretending feels safer. And that's not a character flaw. That's just simply a protection strategy. This doesn't mean you're the bad guy. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean she doesn't like you. It usually means she just doesn't feel fully free. Free to be honest, free to be imperfect, free to say, hey, it's not happening today. Free to not manage your emotions. That's the difference. Men, I completely get it. We're stubborn. We take things to heart. We tie performance to our worth. So hearing, I'm just not going to get there today, can feel like complete rejection, even when it's not. Even when sometimes it has nothing to do with you. That's part of the dynamic. And women know that. So they adapt. So if you've ever thought, why did this change? When did it stop feeling real? How can we go from connection to performance? Now, this is exactly what we're going to break down in the next episode. Because for most women, this does not start as fake. But it can become fake gradually over time. And once you understand that, when that shift happens, the pattern becomes impossible to unsee. I'm Chris Hodgson, and I'll see you soon.